Is handwriting analysis still used by the FBI? Of course. In fact, I saw it on the anthrax letters recently in CNN. They have their own experts at Quantico, and they're really good at what they do. And so you don't hear much about the handwriting unless you've got a ransom note. I think the Jon Benet Ramsey case was an exception because it was a local case, meaning the Colorado police handled that case. So when it gets to the federal level, the FBI has a lot more resources and a lot more machines. I think the most common thing for the FBI or even Homeland Security is passports, is immigration papers, people sneaking into the country. That's when you get real sophisticated equipment, lights. When I was at a conference in Poland, most of the people there worked for their local governments, the Polish government, the English government, the French government, and their jobs was passport control. So there's a lot of different ways that you can manufacture currency and passports, and that is all under the field of forensic document examination. But the FBI would get involved in some kind of inner commerce, like a serial killer, for example. If you ever watch Criminal Minds, you'll see that handwriting is frequently mentioned, not in the new episode, but in the previous episode, because the really smart guy with glasses was really good at doing the psychological profiling of handwriting. And of course, they also did the notes. So it was kind of unrealistic because he could, as a jack of all trades, but actually everything he said was pretty accurate. Small handwriting, this handwriting, that handwriting, and note. So it's used by FBI really to solve problems. When you get to prosecute, the FBI, they're looking for real hard evidence like pipe bombs and evidence and tracing. But sometimes just figuring out which of the suspects is the real suspect is key. I know the FBI got involved recently when they tried to sell Elvis Presley's house. There was some con artist down in Florida. They're always in Florida, by the way. I don't know why. We have an office in Miami, so I see all kinds of fraud, more so than any other state. But she basically created an IOU note to Lisa Marie Presley, and that IOU note was completely fabricated. That went into the court file. Then they tried to put the Graceland up for sale. So that became interstate fraud. And of course, it was such a big story, the FBI got involved and they tracked that person down. They were hiding behind LLCs, fake names, and essentially they were extorting the granddaughter of Elvis Presley to try and get them to pay a $6 million IOU that did not exist. But, unfortunately, that young lady that inherited Graceland, her mother and her grandmother all died like within a couple of years. It was really kind of sad. Obviously, Elvis Presley is a sad story as well. His life was very tragic. So absolutely, the FBI uses forensic handwriting analysis. The Quantico and the crime uses the psychological aspect of it when they're trying to hunt down serial killers. But as far as like doing handwriting psychology on the witness stand, you don't see much of that, although I did see 8 or 9 references where you could use that as an influence. But I'm not sure that the judges and the juries really like psychiatrists either when it comes to analyzing the state of mind. Really, just when it comes to the insanity plea, they're trying to say, I don't want to go to the death chair, I want to go to the insanity plea. So yes, the FBI uses it. Most of our work in Independence is civil cases, wills, testaments, deeds, fights, prenuptial agreements. When there's money involved, they'll pay for an expert. My name is Bart Baggett. If you need some help, stop by handwritingexperts.com. There is experts. We have offices in different parts of the country. We have other experts that are less expensive than me. They're very, very qualified. And we can find someone in your budget to help you solve your forensic handwriting problem.